I think I went 6-1 yesterday or something like that. Something crazy. Your Milan won big. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, they always show up when their back's against the wall.
Yeah, it's some of these games yesterday. Go to the scores. Wednesday, Tuesday. Chelsea won 2-1. Wonder goal from Kai Havertz. Milan won 4-0. So you see that table. Oh, Shakhtar Donetsk standings. We'll see that table. Chelsea now on 10 points, Milan on 7, Salzburg on 6, Zagreb on 4, and we'll go over those in a second. The futures. Celtic 1-1. I said draw or Celtic. We both, I think you were on that as well. I just think this Shakhtar team, they gave up the early goal. They scored late. They're still in it. And the other game from that group was RB Leipzig 3-2. Werner scored, and then Rodrigo scored. First loss for Real Madrid all year, but once again, nobody played. So Leipzig basically now who plays in that group? Shakhtar plays Leipzig at home. So basically now in that group, you got a winner take all game where Leipzig just needs a draw. So that'll be interesting. Match day 6. There's going to be some interesting match day 6 games. Real Madrid will play Celtic, so Real Madrid will win the group. Sevilla rolled, but it doesn't matter because Borussia Dortmund beat Copenhagen. So now Dortmund basically just needs to draw Copenhagen, and Sevilla needs to beat City. So not the greatest result for them, but Sevilla's still in it. They did what they had to do. Game of the day was the Group H was crazy. 16 goals in 2 games. Benfica 4-3, PSG 7-2. Yeah, look, I mean, these, the Juventus came back here at the end, but didn't make it. Made it a game, but still. Right now, here's the odds to win the Champions League. City's at plus 200, Bayern and PSG at plus 650, Liverpool now at 700, the fourth choice, Real Madrid 1100, Chelsea and Napoli are up to 5th and 6th. I do not see. Oh, there's Barcelona plus 10,000. Okay, so interesting game. Interesting games yesterday, but I think we basically pegged everything right on the nose for the most part.
Yeah, pretty much. I was disappointed. I was about 2 minutes away from cashing my final score bet on Sevilla, and then Isco just had to ruin that. And then in the 92nd minute, they had to ruin it for all the underbettors as well.
Yeah, that's right. They scored twice there in the final 2 minutes.
Absolute garbage.
Copenhagen, they stink. And I think we had it pegged on. I mean, everybody but the Joe Wiz's guy who bets one game and gets mad because you give him 6 plays and he picks out one, should have won yesterday. So, good on them. Today is interesting. I think we will take a look at these games in the Champions League today. The early games are Bruges and Porto and Inter Pilsen. Inter right now at minus 835. Basically unbettable.
You had to zoom in and wipe your eyes on that Club Bruges line.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? Bruges hasn't allowed a goal in this whole tournament. You look at this.
They're at home.
I just, I
They
know
beat
Porto has
for
to
nothing.
win. Porto has to win. Porto really doesn't even have to win. If Porto wins, if Porto wins or loses, it doesn't really matter. Because it still goes down to match day 6 because I think Porto plays.
Atletico.
Yeah, where is that game? Porto plays at home against Atletico Madrid in the early game next week. So, I mean, it really doesn't, if Porto wins, obviously, they're in much better shape. Bruges is already through. But once again, Bruges can win the group here. Bruges just needs a draw to win the group. They haven't allowed a goal at home. They haven't allowed a goal. They haven't allowed a goal at home. They've been very good at home. They're really good in their league. They're caught up. I guess they're a ways behind Genk, but it's early in the season. Genk has just been so good because they haven't been playing in any other competitions, I guess. So, but yeah, Bruges here. They get no respect ever.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for them to try and win this group too, considering that they're going to have a much better chance in the next round playing like a Dortmund or like a Sporting or whatever than trying to go up against Man City or PSG. Like it's not gonna help them out at all.
Yeah, Asian line. What is the the pick here is plus 132. The plus 0.25 is basically even money. I don't understand the line. If I was going to bet this game, I'd probably take Bruges or maybe Bruges. I don't even know. Bruges or draw in a parlay, 2 of the 3. I don't know. I mean, I know Porto's a good team, but
Club Bruges beat them in Portugal 4-0.
What's that?
Club Bruges beat them 4-0 in Portugal.
Porto doesn't score a lot of goals. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, this game to me, I know Porto once again has to win. I would side, if I bet this, I would side with Bruges here and find a way maybe to back, maybe once again plus 0.25. I mean, basically even money.
See, the other thing with this match is that, so you touched on Club Brugge hasn't allowed a single goal in 4 Champions League matches so far.
Yeah,
they have scored 7 goals in those 4 matches. 4 of those goals, so more than half, came against Porto on the road. That was their biggest win of the Champions League group, 4-0 in Porto. And now they're at home.
So,
in basically a must draw or win clinches the group situation. So why the hell would they want to push it to match day 6 to try and get that draw when they got to go to I think it's Leverkusen they have to go into Germany and play. So definitely more favorable matchup being at home here against the team you've smashed 4-0.
Yeah, and the other thing is too here. I mean, if Leverkusen can get it, Atletico Madrid is a mess. So if Leverkusen can get a result here, they're up to 6 points, and they would need to win that game. So Bruges doesn't. Bruges really just needs a point. Bruges, and I think I want to take a look at something. Under half a goal for Porto here is plus 330. So if you think Bruges is going to post the 5th clean sheet in 5 games, they've done it all 4 games so far, you can get it at plus 330. If you think they're going to hold Porto to under 1.5 goals, it's minus 143. So there's some value there, I think. Porto's not scoring, like crazy here. So
they're not scoring 2 goals on this defense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe the better play here is to put $20 on under half a goal and say Bruges wins by a clean sheet. And then, or it doesn't even need to win. It's 0-0. They just won't give up a goal. Bruges win to 0 is plus 500. Well, guess what? They've won 3 of their 4 games to 0, and the other game was to 0. So, there's some value here if you think Bruges is going to win this game or Bruges is going to keep a clean sheet. There's value all over the place, and they've done it in every other game. So,
Yeah.
can we do it again? I don't know. Maybe this is the time someone finally scores on them, but I just don't know. I don't think this Porto team is like fantastic.
The thing is, Bruges has the motivation to come and play, because I mentioned how, obviously you want to try and win the group here at home, then push it to the very last day and have to go on the road and do it. But also, if Porto wins this match, then all of a sudden the group is open again, and Club Brugge needs more than a draw in match day 6 to win this group, assuming Porto beats Atletico Madrid in that match. But it would open up the group to the possibility of losing. If they just tie Porto, that's it. They rip away Porto's chances of even winning the group here.
A draw isn't the worst result for Porto either here, because what did they do? Porto lost to Madrid, so they would lose the tiebreaker. 7 points. Porto really needs to win the game too. Porto has it in their hands, though. Like, Porto would have that game at home against Madrid. But if Porto draws and Atletico Madrid wins today, Atletico Madrid goes ahead of Porto in the table, and then Porto would have to win at home. They couldn't tie. Club Brugge is already through. They're already through, because even if Atletico Madrid finish on 10 points, Brugge wins the tiebreaker with Atletico Madrid, so they're through. Obviously, once again, they don't want to finish second here, but
and that's what I mean. Playing as well as they've been playing, like, I think they want to win this group and know, maybe there's a chance we get a weaker team than having to go up against like a PSG or a Bayern in the next round.
Yeah, look, and the other thing too is Bruges, if they get a point here, it's 11, it's done. They don't need to, they could rest everybody in the next game. It doesn't matter. They're supposed to, they got to go to Germany. They could take their reserves. They could take their kids to Germany. It doesn't matter at that point, because they've already won the group. And then they can focus on the league play before, the World Cup break, and see if they can get back into that. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah. And like Chelsea and AC Milan kind of proved it for me yesterday, because their backs were against the wall. They had to come and win. Chelsea needed that win if they wanted to win the group, and AC Milan was sitting in last, so they really needed that win. And we saw a lot of teams show up, even Juventus. They were down 4-1, and that bet, I was on Benfica. That got really sweaty in the last 10 minutes. So these teams are going to come to play today. And that's why I think the Atletico Leverkusen is going to be an interesting one too. You get 2 desperate teams throwing the kitchen sink at each other, basically.
Yeah, and this Inter Pilsen game, I don't like it, first of all, because the line is crazy. But Pilsen, the only way Barcelona goes through is if Inter loses today or drops points. Like, I just, I don't see it. Like, Inter, this Pilsen team stinks, but I see all these messages. Like, there's no value in it to me. Like, I'm not betting Inter at -2.5 here. I mean, they probably win 3-0, but like, I'm not, I don't think they're that good, to be honest. They flew 2 games over Barcelona. I'm probably going to stay away from that game. It really just doesn't interest me at all. I don't know how you feel about that, but that seems like a lot of goals to give for that game.
Yeah, that's a no value game to me. Like, I want nothing to do with Inter Milan. They could win this game 5-0. They could win it 1-0.
I wouldn't be stunned. They're winning the game. So, if you're Barcelona, it just sucks for Manchester United, because all these teams are dropping into the Europa League, man. The Europa League's going to be better than the Champions League, man. It's going to be crazy. So
already some strong teams down there too, like Arsenal and United. So, and
it's crazy, man. Let me just look at that real quick. They don't even have the futures here. Arsenal plus 300, Manchester United plus 500. Like these are the teams that are in it right now. Wait till
Roma and Betis.
yeah, Sociedad. Wait till the teams drop in. I mean, because right now you got Ajax,
Probably, you'd think.
Atletico Madrid, Barcelona. One of these Tottenham, Marseille, Sporting Lisbon, Salzburg or AC Milan, Shakhtar, Leipzig, Sevilla, and Juventus dropping in, man. So, man, it's just crazy. That tournament's going to be crazy, man. That's going to be like the Europa League draw is going to be like, who's who. Who cares about the Champions League draw, man? These seeds are, it's going to be PSG, City, Madrid, Bayern, and in the semifinals or something like that, maybe Napoli or Liverpool or something like this. The Europa League, it's where it's at. So, join us when we talk about that. We'll talk about that probably tonight around 9:00, just so you remember.
And then Celtic and Rangers are both left holding the bag, just not even in any competitions.
Do you see? I see. Do you like Bruges on double chance? Yeah, we just talked about that a little bit. It's a little coactus. Yeah, we're going to talk about the NFL in a second. So do we like Bruges there on the double chance?
Well, we talked a lot about how Bruges, man, they haven't given up a goal, and they just they only need the draw here. Like this is the one they're going to be motivated to play. Like
I would say, because the double chance is minus 150. I think you can get a little bit more value on Bruges. Plus 0.5 is the same basic as double chance, maybe a little bit different value, but I think you can get a little more value on the under half a goal for Porto, because remember, Bruges has kept a clean sheet in all 4 games. So if you think they're going to do it for the 5th game, under 1.5 goals is minus 140. Under a half a goal is plus 3 something. And Bruges win to nil is plus 500. So I think that might offer you a little more value. I would say the under 1.5 offers you a little more value than the win or draw, because if it's 1.5, if Porto scores 1 goal, it's probably Bruges is going to probably win or tie.
The other thing I've noticed is, a lot of these teams we've seen, like if they opened them up in the one leg, they've kind of opened them up in the second leg. Like we saw Napoli rip Ajax apart twice, 6-1, 4-2. We saw Porto rip Leverkusen apart twice, 2-0, 3-0. So, this could very well be Club Brugge already has a 4-0 win in Portugal, and now they're at home with a chance to win the group. This could easily be another like 2-0, 3-0 shock by Club Brugge.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. So I think I see, there's different ways to value. There's different ways to bet this where you're going to get, some value. If you go to the game props, Bruges win to nil is plus 500. I mean, that's, if you think they're going to win and win to nil, that's the way to go. If you think they're going to keep a clean sheet, under half a goal for Porto plus 330. If you think they're going to keep a clean sheet and it's 0-0, you don't necessarily think they're going to win. But, maybe the best play here is under 1.5 at minus 140.
Hard to see Porto scoring 2 goals when Club Brugge hasn't given up 1 in 4 matches now.
Yeah, that's the problem. And then Porto's, you see that, they scored 6 goals in 4 games. And 5 of them came in the 2 games against Leverkusen. So the other 2 they have won. So, I don't know. I just think, there's some other ways to bet this to get some value.
And on the reverse side, more than half of Club Brugge's goals have come against this Porto team. So
Yeah, I think there's actually some pretty good ways to bet this game.
Yeah, you can even take the under 2.5 at even money right now, or pretty much it's pretty much a pick 'em either way. But yeah, if you think it's going to be a low scoring game, because again, Club Brugge just has to play for the draw. If they try to sit on defense all day, they have the advantage being at home. This could end up being a 0-0, 1-0 kind of game.
Yeah, I see. I don't know if it just if you took any of those games yesterday that we talked about, because I think we did pretty well yesterday. So hopefully you took a bunch of those. We'll go to the 3:00 games here. Ajax, Liverpool. I know Ajax. I mean, Ajax has to win, but it doesn't. They're not going to win. Like, they're not good. And I just. It's just weird with these Liverpool lines. I know they're not that good. I mean, they're starting to turn the corner here, but -113 here. I just
It
don't.
almost feels ripe for a Liverpool win off of that Nottingham loss.
I think people are overreacting to some of these results, and I understand. But Ajax is. I mean, half of Ajax team is playing for Manchester United right now. Like, Anthony's ripping it up, and it's just Lisandro Martinez. Like, I mean, this Ajax team, they were very good when all these players were there. I understand why they were so good now, and they got to the Champions League semifinal and stuff. But a few years ago, it was the worst day ever. I had tickets to the final, or we were going to Madrid, and I was like, man, I'm going to see Ajax in Barcelona, and then Lucas Moura came on and scored, and I was like, all right, Tottenham. But then Barcelona blew it to Liverpool. I'm like, man, I got to go watch Liverpool and Tottenham. This is atrocious, man. But I just Liverpool -113. I think you got to hammer them here. I don't see anything other than a Liverpool win in this game. I don't think this Ajax team is very good. I don't know how you feel. Like, I know you said, it's ripe for a thing. I think Liverpool hammers them here. Liverpool basically, I mean, Ajax isn't going through, but Liverpool can get back into the group here.
They can win it actually if they win today and a 4-goal win against Napoli, and you got to think they're playing with that mindset. Like, we can do it still.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and Napoli's obviously gonna. We haven't gotten to that yet. I guess that's Napoli's playing Rangers at -435. That game's going to be 5-0. Napoli's very good. Eintracht Frankfurt plays Marseille. When you look at this table, Frankfurt is on 4 points in last place. But, if Tottenham beats Sporting and Frankfurt wins, all of a sudden Frankfurt is now in the driver's seat to go through. And, Marseille plays Tottenham at home next week, and Sporting plays Frankfurt. So, if Marseille can win this game and Tottenham wins, it's the same thing. I mean, Marseille do against Sporting? Marseille beat them twice, I think. Marseille beat Sporting twice. So if it's interesting here, this group is by far the most interesting group. If Marseille can go to Frankfurt and get a win, and Tottenham gets a win, Tottenham is through and Marseille is through. If anything else happens, like if Sporting gets a result or thing, it's the whole group is like upside down. So I don't know. Eintracht Frankfurt, Marseille. I don't really love the game, to be honest. But if I had to bet it, I think I would take a chance on Marseille and draw. I just think this Marseille team is pretty good, and they're starting to play better. So I don't know how you feel about this.
I hate this game. I hate these two teams. Every time I take a Marseille over, it goes under. Every time I take a Marseille under, it goes over. I can't get a read on this team if my life depended on me.
I can't get a read on this group. This group is really tied. Like, and I'm telling, like, this. I don't know about this Tottenham. Tottenham's like a heavy favorite too. They stink.
That's another one. They gotta win today. Like, they have to.
Frankfurt won in Marseille, which would you see Frankfurt at home at +115. I just don't think they should be +115 in this game. I think it should be a little closer to plus 160, basically more even. I probably won't bet the game. There's probably going to be some goals in it. Bayern Munich, Barcelona.
I'm tempted to take Bayern at the plus 200, man.
Yeah, Bayern at plus 200.
But I know Sane's out for this game. And
Barcelona, I mean, they have to win, but it doesn't matter. They're not going through. Bayern Munich's a much better team. Bayern just needs a draw here, really. But, I don't know. I just think they're better.
The game's interesting to me because, as bad as Barcelona has been, all of a sudden their attack has caught fire again. They've scored 3 goals in each of their last 2 matches. And it's almost like the injuries to Dembele and Rafinha, or no, not Dembele. Forget.
Maybe Dembele. Wasn't Dembele hurt?
Is it Dembele who's hurt? Yeah, okay. Because I know they're starting with, they have a bunch of guys out like Gavi, Dembele. I think Rafinha's out too. And now their starting 3 is Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, and I'm drawing a blank on the other winger, but
Gavi?
No, he's out. Is he in?
It looks like they said it's the Barcelona possible starting lineup: Dembele, Lewandowski, and Gavi.
Interesting. Yeah, I read that Gavi was going to be out for this game, but I don't know. Getting mixed reports. I thought Neymar was going to be out yesterday. He played.
It has Mane back.
No, I said Sane was out. Sane.
Oh, Sane. Yeah.
I know it's got 2 guys with basically the same name almost, but
Neuer, Hernandez, Sane, and Sarr are out for the visitors.
Who am I? I'm mixing up Dembele with somebody who is in that position normally for Barcelona.
Sergio Roberto's out. Yeah, Memphis Depay is out.
Oh, that's it. Depay, the 2 D names, Dembele and Depay. Yeah. That's who I was mixing up.
Christensen and Depay are out, as well as Sergio.
So yeah, I know. What I was trying to say is I noticed that their attack was catching fire when it was Lewandowski, Depay, and Rafinha as the starting 3. Then they went through that little bit of a scoring slump, and now all of a sudden, they got 7 goals in their last 2 matches against some pretty good teams in Spain, Villarreal and Athletic Club. They just blew out of the water 3-0 and 4-0 at home. And what has their starting 3 been? They go with the Lewandowski, Dembele, and Ansu Fati, and all of a sudden it's like their attack's catching fire again. So I don't know if it's a chemistry thing, but this game is interesting to me. You can't bet the over. I think there's going to be goals. Obviously, the over is super juiced, but I don't know what to make.
Bayern over 1.5 is basically even money. To me, is Bayern going to score? If Bayern wins, they're going to win 2-1 or something like that. That seems like. I don't really love the game, to be honest. I'll probably watch it, but if I had to target one bet from this game, it would probably be Bayern Munich over 1.5 at minus 110.
Also, Neuer's out too.
Yeah,
he's supposed to. So that's never gonna happen. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's just SofaScore. They have that Choupo-Moting as the starting striker for Bayern.
Yeah, I actually like him. He's kind of a guy. If United had somebody like that, like a target guy, I think they would be so much better. Like Choupo-Moting or I don't even know, somebody like the target in the center of the pitch. Right? Sometimes I don't mind that. Napoli Rangers. I don't know how you bet this.
5-0 final score. Napoli.
It's crazy. Napoli right now. Napoli minus 1.75 is minus 120. This is going to be ugly. I think Napoli's in a good shape if they win this. What was the score the first time? 3-0, and Rangers got a red card. Napoli's won their games in the Champions League 4-1, 3-0, 6-1, 4-2, and then this game.
I might just take a shot on that 5-0 final score. You're getting plus 2,000 for it.
You know what?
That is some value.
You know what? This is the kind of game here. Napoli -2 is plus money. Yeah, listen, I see. Here's the kind of these games don't come along often, but here's the kind of things that you could do.
I know where you're going.
Over 2.5 plus 114. Over 3.5 plus 235. Over 4.5 plus 575. Over 5.5 plus 1,400. We do this sometimes in these games, in these things. I did it last year with Liverpool and Leeds, and Liverpool scored 3 goals in the last 10 minutes to win 6-0. We did it with who did we do it with this year? We did it with one of these games.
I think we did it with a Bayern when they were playing like Pilsen or something like that.
Yeah, Bayern and Pilsen, and with 2 of the 3 hit. I think this is the kind of game. Napoli has to keep scoring, obviously, for the goal difference is, it's big. Because, if Napoli does lose 4-1 in Liverpool, I think the goal difference goes down. The second one, they would win the goal difference because their goal difference is so high right now.
Exactly. And that's why, Liverpool literally has to win by 4 goals or more against Napoli if they want to win the group. But, of course, they have the caliber of players that are going to be thinking, we can do that. Which, again, makes their line baffling today.
I think this is a kind of game, and I do like that line -2. You see -2 is plus 107. I think first half handicap -1 is plus 133. I think that's not terrible. I think this is the kind of game where you say, I'm going to take team total over 2.5, over 3.5, over 4.5, over 5.5. Because if it ends 4-0, you win the 2.5 and the 3.5, and the 3.5 is at plus 235. You lose the other, you lose the 4.5, right? You lose the 4.5 at plus 575.
If you go 2-2, but you still end up with the big profit because that plus 200.
If it ends 5-0. You hit at plus 576.75. If it ends 6-0, you're making a killing. If you bet 100 on each one, 100, I say bet 50 on it, $10 on each one. I don't even
20.
Know.
Let's go 20. 20 on each. Yeah, 20 and you could end up with over $100 on this game.
You're winning, $50 here. You're winning $100 here, and you're winning, a lot here, 2 something. Here, so you're ended up plus $400 on an $80 bet, which is interesting. If it ends up, just 4-0, you win whatever. If it ends up 3-0, you're gonna lose money. But it's one of these games where I think you can. I actually sometimes I won't do 20. What I'll do is maybe I'll do 50. 30, 20. Like I'll go down. I'll bet more on the lower ones. But I think this is actually a game where I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a look at those odds as soon as I get off.
And you know what? Napoli's missing nobody for this one.
Really?
They have one guy out to injury. It's Ramani. That's about it. Osimhen's back healthy. I know he was dealing with some injury problems, but they got everybody. Osimhen's probably going to come off the bench today because they got their starting lineup. It looks like Lozano, Raspadori, and Crackscheller, which don't even know how to say his name. Some names I apologize. I'm not the best at all of these. There's some names I'm gonna nail because of my heritage, but there's other names that I'm just gonna fall flat on my face until somebody tells me it's pronounced Cadiz.
And that Kvaratskhelia guy, he's nasty. They are pretty good.
Damn good lineup today.
Why isn't Osimhen playing?
He's on the bench. He's in, but he's on the bench, and he's probably going to come off the bench in the 16th minute and add another 2-3 goals.
See, that's interesting. If he comes on in the 60th minute, they may. That's where this is. Hey, Abdi, how's it going? Club Brews, Liverpool, and Tottenham moneyline parlay. All right. Club Bruges. Wow, you're going.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. So
all right, Abdi. You're going a little reckless with that. Not reckless, but a little dangerous with that Club Bruges. I like it though. I think it's pretty interesting play.
Hey, he's been watching Club Bruges clearly.
Yeah, Abdi, I do. Biggest long shots to win Champions League. We just I think
Napoli plus 1,700, man. Like they just scored. They're ripping through teams like no tomorrow. And that's always what we say about the Premier League. If you can score goals, you can survive.
If you throw out Manchester City, which is tough because, but they haven't. Manchester City has these games. I mean, you see the last 2 games in the Champions League, 0-0. Like Pep has these moments in the Champions League. So if you assume City doesn't win here, look at these teams. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid plus 1,100. I mean, Real Madrid is good, man, and they're signing somebody in the wintertime. Napoli at 1,800. I think that's worth it. Benfica at 4,500. I don't know if they can win it, but they're going to be probably late into the they could be in the quarterfinals, which means they have a chance. Bayern, PSG. I would take a shot on one of these teams here. Maybe a couple of them. Could City win? Yeah, of course. But until I see the draw and stuff like that, maybe Napoli could win. They score a lot of goals. We'll have to see how they do against Liverpool here, and then just see how that goes.
I would say if you're looking for like biggest value long shot, definitely Napoli or Benfica, just because the way they've been playing on defense and scoring goals, like they're going to be a tough out no matter what team they play, even if they have to take on like a Bayern or a PSG, they're going to be a tough out. But if we're talking like most realistic long shot, probably Real Madrid at plus 1,100, because as you mentioned, Sean, they're going to sign somebody in the winter, and this is the defending La Liga and Champions League champions with basically the exact same team. They didn't really lose anybody in the transfer window. So
really good at knockout games. Like Chelsea a little, Chelsea signing players in the winter. That guy's going to sign players, and Potter's a good coach. So, Chelsea maybe a little bit, they would scare me a little bit if I drew them in a knockout stage, because they just don't give up a lot of goals right now under Potter. Barcelona plus 6,000.
Where do you going to be in Europa League next week?
I got Barcelona at plus 10,000. Yeah, look, now when the Europa League draw comes out and you see them to win the Europa League, you just, that'd be interesting. But Barcelona's like, they're in danger of like imploding and like financially, because if they're out of the Champions League, they might have to sell some players. I just don't know what's going to happen with them. But
yeah, I hope you're laughing, IC, because that you think that's way too high of a number or way too low of a number, whatever. Like, because that should be like plus 20,000. They are literally like, barring what happens today against Bayern, even with a win against Bayern Munich, like they're going to end up in Europa League.
Yeah, and the last game is Tottenham Sporting. Tottenham is minus 195 here. I just don't know why Tottenham should be minus 195 against any team. I mean, they're not. They play every game like they try to win 1-0. That terrible that he plays. They've only scored 5 goals in 4 games here. This group is just crazy. I just don't know. I don't know why. Sporting beat Tottenham 2-0. I mean, I wouldn't bet Tottenham -1 here. You got to hope Tottenham wins by 2 goals. Is Tottenham beating any team by 2 goals right now?
It's tough to say. Like, they've lost their last 2 in the Premier League, and they looked terrible in that Newcastle loss. But they even looked terrible against your team there, Manchester United. But
they were terrible in that game. I know they're better at home, but Newcastle ran them off the pitch. This is a kind of game right here.
I think you're seeing the line the way it is because they've won 7 of their home matches this season in all competitions. Like, I know they haven't been playing well, but that Newcastle loss, believe it or not, was the first time they dropped points at home in any competition this year.
I would take a chance on Lisbon and draw here at plus 155. I hate the game. I don't think, I think that's actually a very good value play because usually at these, like Tottenham at minus 195, you don't usually see the team at 510. I mean, Lisbon at 510, they already have a 2-0 win over Tottenham, remember? And the way Tottenham likes to play that counterattack, I can't stand it. It's great to play against because they just sit back and let you kill them. Man, that United game, United looked like peak Brazil from 1962 there against them. They made they made them look great. So I don't like this game at all. If I had to bet it, I'd say Sporting Lisbon a draw. I know. Sorry, Coactus asked about this game this Thursday night game. Oof. Ravens and Tampa Bay. We'll talk about this. So we'll have a show tonight at 9:00 as well. Tune back in. We'll go over all the Europa League and the Conference League and the NFL game a little bit and the college games and whatever else tonight at 9. So if you're looking for those games tomorrow, tune back in tonight at 9:00. But this game, I don't know, man. I had to pick it earlier from my pool. I took the Ravens, but I don't even know who you're picking this game.
I'm with you. I would think the Ravens win. They've been the better team, and Tom Brady just looks done. We mentioned, I don't know where Foxy's been the last 2 days, but Foxy confirmed it for me. His witch wife put a hex on him. Right? Giselle has put the hex on him. He is not going to perform well this year, I think. And it's one where, I called it. I didn't think Carolina was going to upset, but I said, even though they sold the whole team, I don't trust this Tom Brady. And now I get he's at home. And the only worry here is that the Ravens have blown a lot of double-digit leads.
Quactus has said that he's 11-0 as a dog here. I mean, I that would lead me. I know that they're really banged up. I mean,
last time he was an underdog, I'm pretty sure I lost like $1,000 on the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
I hammered the Bucks, man.
Man,
I was with my Glazer brothers. Yeah, Quactus. I think, and the value is obviously on the Bucks on the money line at plus 100. I mean, there's nothing between these two teams. The Ravens have lost as many games. The Ravens should be like 6-1 right now, and they're 4-3. The over under is interesting a little bit to me. 45. I think there's going to be some points scored in this game. Ravens give up points, and they score some points. I think these defenses are a little bit banged up, but there's probably going to be some points. I lost on Chiefs. Tom Brady.
I see. Gets it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, no, I'm a man. I was with my Blazers. I was all over Tampa Bay.
Your Glazers. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. They own Man United too. Yep. Oh, my God. Now, hey, you got Todd Bowley trying to infringe now. He's buying Chelsea, owns the Dodgers.
Jay Jones, how you doing, man? I appreciate everybody watching here. He asked about Tottenham coming back after the weekend. Look, I don't know how to handicap this game. Tottenham should win this game 2 or 3-0. They should. I just look at these results though. Like they lost to Newcastle, they lost to United, they beat Everton, they beat Frankfurt 3-2. That was a massive, massive game, especially after the draw in Frankfurt. And you remember they scored 3 goals. There was 4 goals scored in the first half. They've been really good at home. Tottenham has been very good at home. 6-2, 2-0 against Marseille. On the road, they're terrible. He plays that terrible. Mike Evans is banged up. He probably plays. Yeah, look, I'd like to see a little bit more before maybe we'll talk about that a little more. Tottenham has been very good at home. Are you laying -1 right now on them? I just don't know. -1 Asian line is I think if you're going to bet Tottenham, you have to bet them like that. You could put them in a money line maybe with somebody, but they should win the game.
I'm taking the -1. I gave it out as a free play, and I'm going to bank on the fact that they've won 7 of their 8 home matches this season. That's the first. I know they lost to Newcastle and looked terrible, but that was their first time dropping points. Who knows if they were looking ahead to this match, knowing you only have a 1-point lead over the group, and with the group being so close, maybe they were more focused on it. Could have been a look ahead spot. I don't know, but I'm going to trust Tottenham here. Yeah. At home, they've been pretty good. They score goals actually at home, which is something they don't do on the road. So, I'll trust the -1. I think they're going to win at least. So I'll get the push at worst. But as you said, they should win 2-3-0 here.
AJS here and Jones, both, AJS is saying goal scoring prop might be better. I think you're maybe right there. And
I was going to say the Kane main saying, but I forgot Bayern's playing Barcelona. I don't know if you want to trust two guys scoring that game.
Kane is basically even money. Son Heung-min is plus 150. I think, yes, you're probably correct. Both of you, AGS and Jones. I think probably worth taking a shot there. They probably score. These guys, you look down the list, I don't know none of these guys are scoring. Yeah,
are they still missing Richarlison for this one? I actually didn't check that.
I think he's out.
Yeah, so again, they're going to go with the two striker thing with Kane and Son at the top instead of their 3 forwards.
I don't think they're that good, man.
You loved this team at the beginning of the year. You were all on Tottenham.
We simulated Tottenham versus Sporting Lisbon to get Champions League score prediction. All right, so they simulated. Let me see how many times they simulated it here.
You know what? They actually, those 2 losses were their 2 matches without Richarlison against Man United and Newcastle. So it's like they haven't.
They predict 3-3 here. Wow. So maybe
that's crazy. 3-3.
They predict they played the game and it came out 3-3.
There is not going to be 6 goals in this match.
They were down 3-0. They brought on Lucas Moura.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. You're telling me this is going to be a 3-3 match
after 3-0 at halftime? How about that? Wow.
Down 3-0 at home.
Going to try the staggered goals bet with Napoli. Yeah, look, Coactus, I think there's only certain places you can do this. You can't do it for every game. I mean, obviously, look, you see, there's teams score a lot of goals all the time. Like PSG yesterday was maybe a decent spot to do it. It's always easier in hindsight. But Napoli, they're crushing teams, and this Rangers team stinks. So, maybe it's 4-0. Maybe it's 5-0. Maybe it's 6-0. Maybe it's 3-0. It's just a spot to do it. The line, if you're going to bet them at -2, you assume they're going to win anyway by 3 goals, right?
And it beats the win to nil because at least this way, Napoli could give up a goal or 2. It doesn't matter if they're going to score 4, 5, or 6. Yeah,
exactly. Yep. Yeah, so I mean that's basically the ways I think some of the games to do it. Like some of these you just and correct as we've done it a couple times where it just hasn't worked. Like it's just like the game's 2-0, so it is what it is. So 3. That's a FIFA simulation, Joe. I wouldn't, if you want to bet that, you could probably get pretty decent odds. Let me see what it is. So 3-3 at 3-3 at the end of the game is plus 5,000.
Who allowed that? How can you even publish that if you're FIFA? That's embarrassing. It's going to be a 3-3 match after Tottenham's down 3-0
So
at halftime on their home
Sporting
pitch.
Lisbon is plus 15,000. If you want to put some money on that, you can. But
put $1 on that. It's like what is it, like a $1,500?
Yeah, you can make a little money there. But I that's a FIFA simulation, so I'll maybe take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if I'll do that.
Now, when you say that, do you mean like they actually played the game, the video game FIFA?
Yeah.
And then they put it on like auto sim, right? Because I've done that before in season play and stuff like that. That's can't trust that.
Yeah. They simulated. I don't know how many times they did it. I mean, you're supposed to do it like 10,000 times.
I was going to say, like 6,000 times it ended 3-3.
Yeah. It's a little bit crazy. But,
that's ridiculous.
All right. So, listen. So that's basically the show. So if you, once again, if you want to tune in tonight at around 9:00, we'll have the show for Thursday, and then we'll go over a lot of the games, and we'll have some of the we'll obviously know what happened today. So hopefully Napoli wins 6-0, and it's 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5 all the way up, and we got some big bucks, but we'll see how it happens. But all right, so. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody. Got some new people in here. If you have any questions, make sure you are, asking us. Our Twitter handles are right there. And where can you find your plays today, Amedeus?
Yeah, you get my premium plays at bigal.com and pickadvisor.com. I got 3 up for the Champions League today, 1 early one, and then two later ones. So you can go get them there if you want to know what the best bets are. And then you, Sean, of course, if you want Sean's picks, got to go to Winners and Whiners for that.
No soccer because we don't have any Winners and Whiners. Refuses to put anything other than the Premier League and the MLS on there. So even though it's maybe what
Champions League,
I can't even. It's so ridiculous. I got to find a site. I got to find somewhere that will let me make my picks somewhere and make some money because. My picks are fire. We were 6-1 yesterday. 6-1. We won all kinds of cash yesterday for you. So anyway, thanks for watching and appreciate it. And we will see you tonight. Remember, tune back in tonight at 9:00 for the show. Thank you.